wherever you are, whoever you are. I'm so glad you're here today. Today I'm going to walk you through a relaxing homemaking compilation of a couple days. Grab your cup of coffee, grab some tea, get something yummy to drink, or grab your vacuum and microfiber, and let's get started. We recently brought in this hutch that I got from Facebook Marketplace. It was sitting at the tiny house, which I'm going to bring you guys into because we have made some amazing changes in that home, and we have a renter that's coming in the middle of the month. So we had to move out all of the big furniture back into the house and finding a place for it. I'm going to go back and rearrange and put my plants up here. It's probably going to end up being a plant stand at some point because that's how I like to decorate. And thankfully my husband is into plants as well, and he contributes to my plant obsession as well. You're going to have to excuse my dogs and the crickets and all the things going on in the background as well, because I live in a house with 5 kids and 3 dogs, so you might hear barking, but I'm going to try to make this voiceover as relaxing as possible so that we can clean together and just be grateful for the spaces that we have been given. Speaking of gratefulness, I just want to encourage you in this video specifically that your home doesn't have to look like everybody else's. You don't have to have everything everybody else has to be happy. You can create the atmosphere in your own home the way you feel it should be created. You should have the things that bring you joy. You should have the things that make you happy around your house. And if there are things that overwhelm you, then you should remove it from your home. And I say this because I come from a 480 square foot home with 5 kids and dogs. And although in the beginning it was wonderful and we had such a great time living there, as soon as the kids really sprouted up, we had to make changes and get this home that we're living in now currently. One of the things that I had to do when I moved into that small space was getting rid of a lot of things that I thought I needed. And it made me kind of start over, which has been such a wonderful thing because now I get to start over with things I truly love. My family and I have always had hand-me-downs, and they haven't always been hand-me-downs that we've wanted. They've just been kind of hand-me-downs that we've had to have out of necessity. And although that's great, when you start to have the ability to have the things that you actually do want and love, I want to encourage you to get those things and get rid of the things that don't represent you or your home. This is a bench that set my children for years, and we had this huge, beautiful table that I would homeschool and teach them in, and 3 little butts sat on this stool perfectly well until one day only 2 could fit. And so this little bench, even though it's kind of old and worn down, holds a lot of special memories in my heart because now it gets to sit all of my plant babies in, and I enjoy looking out this window so much. It brings me so much joy to sit here and have breakfast with my family or lunch and dinner and be able to see all of my plants. I also scored that robot in Goodwill for like $25, and she works so good. She's the one that knocked over my camera tripod there, and you saw that glitchy cinematography. One thing I actually enjoy a lot is dusting my plants and rearranging them. I do love to bring plants in and out of rooms and then see what works best, where they're happiest, And so that's what I'm going to do this morning on this particular day. I'm going to focus in my dining room area and just kind of embrace all of the dust and dirt, clean it, and just feel good about this space again. This is a south-facing window. It receives a lot of direct and indirect light throughout the whole day. I am trying out my ficus because, like, when I went to Florida recently, I noticed that the rubber plant was everywhere, even in like highways, receiving really harsh Florida sun and humidity and rain. So I've been trying really hard to bring these babies right back into a spot that where they're going to receive a lot of sunlight. And this one here gets at least 4 to 5 hours on a good sunny day of direct sunlight. Some other plants are not very happy with this spot, and so this is kind of where I start to mess around and see who's happy and who's not, and then move them accordingly. This is a little trick I learned from one of my girlfriends on how to store trash bags. And I just put it up in this video because sometimes I feel like we all need that little hack. I mean, she had been doing this for years. She was like, what do you mean you don't know how to put away your bags? Because I see her folding hers. And anyway, she taught me this in seconds. And ever since, I've been putting my bags away like this under the trash cans in the bathrooms and rooms. We've saved so much space. And then just storing them in another Ziploc bag or another bag saves so much space. I'm hanging out with my little buddy today. He is watching Tom and Jerry while I'm cleaning up and organizing, putting away dishes, and just kind of loving my dining room area. It was kind of a wreck. I know you can't really tell when you see and watch these videos, but the windows were full of doggy paws, prints, and the kids had library books everywhere. There was dust. There was a lot of dust in this area. Even though we've been cleaning it up, I hadn't really gotten into dusting. One thing my family really loves is having a planner out. This is something I just implemented. I've always kind of just written things down in a paper or having an actual calendar, but I love that I can erase and edit my weekly planner, which is usually what I use for my meal plan. I usually go up to the entire week, but this week I only had groceries up to Wednesday. And I wanted to bake cookies this week, but I didn't have enough butter. But I did have boxed cake, so I'm making a boxed cake. I also ran out of milk, and so I made powdered milk. It's crazy because that powdered milk tastes like my country's milk. It's so divine and comforting. My husband, I went ahead this evening and made him some leftovers, and then me and the kids had some yummy grilled cheeses. I wanted to tell you guys about a trick I learned, which is putting mayonnaise on the outside of the buns. It gives them this perfect crunch, and it doesn't taste like mayo at all. I do not enjoy mayo. It's not my favorite condiment, but when you grill it on a grilled cheese, oh my goodness, it's so delicious. They came out really yummy, and it was just a quick dinner. I'm going to be baking some bread. It did call for all-purpose flour, but I only had whole wheat. And although the texture was not amazing, it did come out a little crumbly. It was still really yummy and really soft. And so Next time, I am going to be trying this Italian loaf recipe with all-purpose flour like it called for. But I didn't want to stop myself because I had all of the other ingredients, and I was like, how bad can it be? And it wasn't bad at all. I just don't think that the texture was supposed to come out the way that it did. This was such a nice experience. My kids walked into the room like every 10 minutes. Were like, Mom, it smells so good in this house. My gosh. It was such a delicious smell, and the kids actually devoured the bread immediately. That was a big win, and it felt really good to be able to bake my kids bread. I also realized that my yeast did not rise in my last bread, so I tried this little trick of putting the yeast in warm water with sugar to let it feed. This recipe also called for no kneading, that you were just supposed to put it in your KitchenAid and let it do it for you. But after trying it, I realized that the attachments that I had just recently bought, because I lost the original attachments to my KitchenAid in the move, did not fit. It was apparently for a smaller machine. So I ended up having to knead the bread anyway, which I've got to say, I don't know what I'm doing, but it felt so good to knead this bread and make it into the consistency that it came out to. It was a hands-on experience, and I think I get what the big hype about making bread is. There's just something so relaxing and grounding about making your own bread and then actually touching the food that you're going to bake. It's definitely an experience, and I'm definitely hooked, and I definitely want to bake my little heart out for the rest of the summer and maybe the rest of the year into the fall, into the winter. It's so satisfying. And the warm water, yeast, and sugar really worked. As you can see, it's all foamy and grown. It looks really good. So we're gonna go ahead and bake that bread. I think I enjoy cleaning and organizing because there's such a instant gratification with the work and the effort that you put in. You go into a bathroom, you see it all messy and untidy, you clean it, you organize it, and it's instantly gorgeous. Even though it's going to get dirty that same day, if not that same week, there's something just very satisfying about putting your hands in there and getting to work. And I find the same satisfaction, if not even more, in baking. Even when things don't work out exactly how you expected, the process itself is satisfying and feels really good to have something made and created for your family. Something that is just so ancestral, and I think it's embedded in a lot of us, women and men alike, to bake, to create, to clean, to organize, to put your hands and be busy with your hands. There's something so good about it for your mental health, I think. It's always laundry day in my house, and today I'm washing my sheets and I am getting ready for a shower. So I'm gonna allow, while my other bed sheets and comforters and pillowcases are drying, and already dry actually by this time, I'm gonna go ahead and put my fitted sheets and everything else to dry while I go and take a shower and come back and enjoy the rest of my evening. It's been a peaceful homemaking day here, homemaking days throughout this video. And so I'm going to enjoy lighting up some candles and taking a nice long shower in the quiet, because my husband took the kids out this evening so that I can catch up on some housework and record. And it's always lovely. There's something really great about homemaking by yourself. I'm a firm believer in creating an atmosphere in your home. And if it is bringing in little prism lights or lighting up candles, doing whatever brings you joy is important, because this is a mundane thing. This is something that you're never going to not do. You're always going to have to clean your home and organize things. And so bringing in nice scents, lighting up some candles, or diffusing some oils for me is the ultimate. I feel good when I walk into my room and it smells really nice, or I walk into my bathroom and I could see the rainbow on my walls. There's just the little girl in me that's so happy walking into a comforting and peaceful place. I think when you do set up the mood, be it candles or putting on your favorite music in the background, it sets the atmosphere for you also to create in your home and be more happy and satisfied with what you're doing. Because I think it's all about perspective too. Like if you're looking at, oh God, I have to make my bed or I have to do laundry today or all these things, and you look at it as a negative thing, it's kind of dreadful, right? Like you don't enjoy making your bed or washing the dishes or whatever it is that you have to catch up with or do or keep up with. But when you can look at it like, I get to make my bed today and they're nice and fresh, and I didn't have to go to the laundromat today and I could do my laundry at home. Things like that, where you can just kind of focus on the good and not take for granted the little blessings that God has bestowed upon us. Because for me, I did laundry for many years in a laundromat when we first moved into this property, because we didn't have a washer and dryer. And when we did receive the washer and dryer, it was outside and I had to walk out there, rain or shine, hot or cold, and do my laundry. So looking at things like this and going back to where I came from to where I'm at now and how we've evolved as a family and as a unit, it just helps with me being able to center myself and really just focus on what is good and being able to really enjoy things that maybe were tedious before because I didn't have all of the resources all in one place. And this evening, like I said, was just my moody and delightful night. I was able to put away the bread that the kids didn't eat, the one loaf, and then kind of just sit down and have dinner by myself and catch up on my Netflix show, walk around my house and see it lit up with the different candles, and just setting up that environment and that mood for myself. You know, there's, it's the little things that make this so worth it. And not every day is perfect, and not every day should be perfect. But this is how we get to appreciate what we have. When we can sit back and do it unto God, we can do it unto Him, pleasing, right? And to be a blessing to not just ourselves, but to the people that live with us. And being able to bless them. And having 2 robots that clean my home. Because this one I did buy full price. I didn't get it Goodwill. And that's okay. She takes care of my room and the other one takes care of the whole house. Wherever you are, whoever you are, I am so glad that you tuned in. And if you have stayed all the way to the end, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you soon.